Yo, Ryan Trunky here. So today I'll be doing What if Deku had energy manipulation part 24, so let's get started. If you don't remember what happened last time, there will be something in the top right corner will show up to the previous episode. Go watch it and come back if you remember, so let's begin. Later that day, the students of 1A were trying to see who they could do an internship with, while Mirio had gone to talk to Izuku and said, "Hey Izuku, you got a second, buddy?" Izuku walked up to Mirio and said, "What's up?" "Well, you see, the hero I'm doing an internship with had asked me this morning if there was any chance that I could get you to come and talk to him this weekend." Izuku remembered that Mirio was doing an internship with the former sidekick of All Might, Sir Night Eye. From what he learned of the hero, Night Eye doesn't just let anyone work for him. The fact he specifically requested Izuku means he caught the pro's eye. I don't see why it wouldn't be an issue. Awesome. Meet me out by the gates Saturday at 8 and I'll lead you to the agency. As they finished up, Nijiro, Ochako and Tsu came over saying that they'll be interning at Ryukyu agency together. Things seem to be falling in place rather well for everyone. So it was finally the day of the meeting with Sir Night Eye about the internship. With him, Izuku had gone to meet up with Mirio, but before departing from Nijiro and Ochako, he gave them a kiss and said goodbye and hugged them. As the duo walked, Izuku began a conversation with his senior. "So what's Night Eye like to work for?" "He can be kinda hard at points, but he's a man that likes to have a good sense of humor." "That's a bit off from what I expected. He say the world doesn't have enough humor in it, so he goes under the brief heroes should have sense of humor." Izuku started to breathe in as if he was in pain before speaking. "That may be deciding factor for him if he lets me in." "Why is that? I never told a joke in my life. That may not end well for me." So the duo eventually made their way to the agency with a grenades, stealing his nerves. This is it. As they walked in at the agency, Izuku began to ask serious questions to Mirio. "Does Night Eye know about One for All? I know he was All Might sidekick, but I don't wanna blab if he doesn't." "He does. To be honest, Night Eye was actually grooming me to inherit from what he said. Unfortunately, it had to go to Bakugo first." Mirio made a face as if he wasn't too thrilled with Izuku following suit. "Yeah, that wasn't the highlights when All Might tried to give me the power. They got to the door to hear laughter inside it. He really enjoys the laughter, doesn't he?" As the door opened, Izuku saw Night Eye hook his sidekick Bubble Girl into a tickle machine, making her laugh to the point she was crying. "What the hell did I walk into?" Izuku said to himself. "Ah, nice to see you, Catalyst. Please come in and take a seat." Bubble Girl was released from her, restrained from her, to stand to side with Mirio. "Who's this kid? Remember the kid Midoriya I talked to you about? This is him." The blue sidekick had a face of amazement as Izuku and Night Eye spoke. "I assume you already know why I had asked you to come here, Catalyst." "I have my suspicions," Izuku responded. A silence was in the room as Izuku looked around the room to see quite a bit of All Might's merch. "Quite a collector you are." "Yes, even though All Might and myself left on some rather uneasy terms, he still is someone worth of admiration. Ain't that the truth?" Night Eye looked at his intern and sidekick to motion them to leave. As they did, Night Eye began to speak a little more freely with Izuku. "I'm well aware of what happened between you and Bakugo, Midoriya." "Wait, how do you—" "I had spoken with All Might not long after the arguments you had during the work study. To be honest, I have had an interest in you for quite some time. Mirio had told me to keep an eye on you during the sport festival to see the real difference between you and the first choice All Might made for his successor. You're more willing to give the others than him. This had me keep my attention on you to watch your antic during the Hoso incident and Kamino raid. Even the pro hero license exam, you seem to catch the eyes of everyone you meet. Must be why they call you the next to inherit All Might's mental. The mention of this hit a sore spot on Izuku mainly because he's been working the best he can just to become his version of what a hero is and not All Might's version. I'm not a fan of being called that. It's kinda a trashy subject, but I just wanna be a hero that can save someone that needs it. Is that why you rejected becoming All Might's second choice? Izuku looked at the pro in shock as he explained. Izuku Midoriya, the boy who died and came back to be the hero for us all. A reporter brought that out when doing an interview with your old school and finding out about cases of neglect on their part. So, why do you want me here? Izuku said. Although Riku laid the groundwork for you, Yue gave you the possibilities, Miracle grew you combat skills, Echa trained you in weaponry, and Gengarka trained you in leadership. You have the knack to become something that perhaps even Mirio would have trouble with. What would happen if you learned how to handle yourself with predicting an enemy next move similar to how I can? Izuku went wide-eyed at this. One night I stood up. The flaw with All Might was he was the only dazzling light that could hold his own against the endless darkness. Though many heroes do amazing work, none are able to fit the mold he left behind. You and Mirio are different, however, you both have the ability to fit the mold exactly if groomed right. He passed the stamp to Izuku to see what he'll do. I can give you the tools, but it's your choice to use them. Will you use them though? Izuku pulled the form from the internship before stamping it down. Welcome to the agency, Izuku Midoriya. After joining the Night Eye agency, they decided to patrol by splitting up in pairs for two. Night Eye with Bubble Girl and Izuku with Mirio. As the four split up to cover more ground, Izuku and Mirio were given a picture of men who they were told to avoid at all costs. The man was named Kai Shisakai as an extraordinary dangerous man with ties to Yakuza group known as the Hisakais. While the duo were out patrolling the area, many recognized the duo as the next greatest heroes. Isn't that Lemillion? You're right. And he's with Catalyst? So cool. Izuku was a little uncomfortable with the facts people were talking about him in a positive way while Mirio stayed calm. I guess you're still not used to the whole popularity thing yet. Not yet. I'm not that used to being looked at this favorably by people. As they continued to walk, the blonde One For All user began to start a conversation, then said, "So, why didn't you want the power when All Might offered it to you?" Wait, how do you? He told me and Sir about it. In all honesty though, you deserve it more. Izuku let out a sigh before answering. I went on my work study with Gran Torino, a pro that used to teach All Might. He thought I was the person originally gave the power to, not realizing Kachan got it over me. After he came to clarify things, he offered me the power. I was sailing on bad terms with a pro and this made me kinda feel insulted by it. In the end, I wanted to make a point come across people, which was Mirio asked. I wouldn't need his power to become a hero. He should have been to me. Though in the end, I feel like I was a little too hard on him when I refused. Heroics is dangerous, but I still think he should have chosen a better choice of words beside those. I guess meeting your heroes isn't something you always want to do. Makes sense if the hero puts on a pedestal already. They were brought out of their conversation by a little girl bumping into Izuku and falling down. You okay? Izuku asked. That was pretty bad fall, also Izuku said, and knelt down to help the girl up with her flinching at him, attempting to touch her. Are you okay? Can I pick you up? While lifting the child up on her feet, Izuku took a note of her wearing a rather dirty large shirt and bunch of bandages on her arm and legs. Immediately his thoughts how she reacted to his conclusion with him. Is this girl being neglected or abused? You should have been more careful, Eri. Don't wanna cause so much trouble for the heroes. A figure came out of the alleyway with with it being dark-haired man with a green jacket wearing white gloves. The most notable thing on the man was a plague mask covering his mouth. Both boys knew who this man was immediately to go pale remembering him as the man I said not to get involved with under any circumstances, Kai Shisakai, aka Overhaul. I'm sorry about my daughter, she's had a bit of tantrum and ran off on me. She's shaking, she seemed to be on the verge of mental breakdown but refuses to make a sound. No worries. Hey, you're the one of the Hisakais, you're famous around here. I guess try not to pay attention to the mask, it's to keep the filth out now. If you wouldn't mind, I need to take Iri home. Izuku didn't like doing it, but he started to let go of the girl with her, with him holding her, like it was the only thing she could do. Like Iri was holding him as she can. Please don't go. The first word that she spoke this entire time were small and weak, begging for help. Sir, she seems to be afraid of you and doesn't want to let go of me. She tends to do that. I had to scold her a little while ago for throwing a tantrum cause she didn't get what she wanted. Izuku looked for anything he could do to keep her from going with the man. To begin explaining what he sees of the girl. Her whole body is covered in bandages. What's happened? It has a tendency to play rough. It's not like it's as bad as it looks. They run up to her arm and leg. It doesn't look like playing rough to me. She's an exceptionally clumsy girl. Izuku held the girl close to her while staring at Shisakai down. I don't know what's happened to this girl, but I'm not letting you take her without the police saying if it's okay first. This comment angered Shisakai to the point that even Mario was worried. What are you doing, man? We don't want to start a scene here. As Shisakai went for his glove, slowly pulled it off, Iri realized what was about to happen, to run out of Izuku's arm to follow. Done with your tantrum now? I'm sorry to have you enter into our family problem. Izuku was ready to head after them before Mirio stopped him and said, we're not going to pursue. What? You saw as well as I did the state of that girl was in. Why aren't we going to do anything? If we were to pursue, it could jeopardize the entire investigation into the Hisakai. It hurts, but we need to walk away now. Mirio held his head down while holding the 1 million number on his chest. Both felt frustrated, but Izuku felt a tad more agitated. She was in my hands. I had her, but I couldn't help her. He was sickened with himself. So I hope you enjoyed this first 24 part. This series will be long, around 40 to 50 parts. I don't know for sure, but yeah, it will be long. So I hope you enjoyed it. Stay home, stay safe, wash your hand, and please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, press the notification bell. See you in this video. Peace out. Bye bye.